Book mail. I received this box from the lovely folks at Booksparks. They've invited me to be part of the Survivors Guild review tour. So they've sent me along some things to help me on my journey. And let's see what they included. First, we've got a bookmark. In the ashes of what we lost, we found each other. Well, that's a great tagline, whoever wrote that. Some Earl Grey tea. The book is by Gabriella Saab. There's a sachet with, ooh, look how pretty that is. Oh, it's a mirror. That can go in my purse. Come in handy when I touch up my makeup. And this will be handy when I'm sitting on the patio in the evenings reading. And it gets a little warm because it is hot out there these days. And here's the book. The Survivors Guild. Look at that cover. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way it depicts the woman with her parasol, and that must be the New York City skyline. I bet she's in Central Park. And let's see. It says it's the gripping story of a Lebanese immigrant, an American heiress, and a French mother brought together by the tragic sinking of the Titanic. I don't know about you, but I'm endlessly fascinated by the Titanic. And then there's a letter from the author. This novel is inspired by the true stories of Lebanese immigrants and women aboard the Titanic. Oh, I can't wait. And then, oh, this is great. 12 Titanic facts you may not know. Okay, let's see. Let's try a couple of them out, shall we? While the exact number is uncertain, it is estimated that approximately 150 passengers aboard the Titanic were Syrian Lebanese immigrants. Prominent first-class passengers included John Jacob Astor IV and his pregnant wife. I've heard of them. Isidore and Ida Strauss. Oh yes, I've heard their tragic story. And Margaret Tobin Brown. Well, you know who that is. That's Molly Brown. The Unsinkable Molly Brown, which is a fabulous musical. And it was a great movie. If you haven't watched it, you really should. It starred Debbie Reynolds and Harvey Presnell, who's one of my all-time favorite singers and actors. And I have had the distinct pleasure of seeing her ball gown from the movie up close and in person, and it is stunning. Because it is displayed in the home of my friends Catherine Hickland and Todd Fisher. And I had the chance to go and see their museum that they have in their house and look at all the artifacts that Todd, who is of course Debbie's son, has lovingly maintained and frequently loans out for shows and to museums and things. And it's just, he's got quite the collection of Hollywood memorabilia, especially costumes. It was his mother's dream to have a costume museum, and she bought tons of costumes. She did sell some of them later, but it's quite a collection. And of course, those things are works of art, and they should be preserved, which was her vision. A ticket in third class or steerage cost about the same as a year's rent in a working class district. Can you imagine having to save up that long to make that trip? Wow. Of the 20 lifeboats, nearly all of them were dispatched before they had reached capacity. Yeah, I've heard that part before. They struck the iceberg at 11:40 p.m., and by 2:20 a.m., the ship had completely sunk. That's fast. By 4 a.m., the RMS Carpathia arrived, and the rescue efforts began. Molly Brown was the chairwoman of a committee offering aid to survivors, and she presented the Carpathia's captain with a silver loving cup and the crew with medals for their heroic rescue efforts. There was a U.S. Senate investigation launched, and Molly Brown was not allowed to testify. because she was a woman. Shameful. Between passengers and crew, there were dozens of nationalities traveling on the ship, including British, American, Japanese, Greek, Swedish, Lebanese, and many more. At 9 weeks old, Melvina Dean was the youngest Titanic survivor. She died in 2009 at the age of 97. Very interesting. Well, thank you so much, Booksparks and Harper Muse. I am really going to enjoy reading this. I just can't wait to curl up with it because, like I said, there's just no end to the interest in that tragic event, the Titanic sinking. And to read stories about survivors based on real folks, I'm sure is going to be very rewarding and inspirational. So thank you.